Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome to our post-match reaction to Liverpool beating Norwich by 3-1. And of course, we will also speak about the title race is firmly on after Tottenham beat Manchester City by 3-2 as well. As you can see, I am joined by a very special guest, in Doug from the Dugout Football Channel. Doug, how you doing, mate?
I'm on cloud nine, mate. I don't know about you, but obviously great win today, but the Spurs result has not kept the smile off my face.
No.
Absolutely unbelievable game of football, by the way. Obviously watching it as a neutral as well, it was just one of those games. Like we had, Rebecca had Saturday Night Takeaway on, and I just had my phone. I was watching Takeaway, and then I had my hands on my phone, and I was just watching it. And obviously they had an offside goal as well. But incredible day of football. And obviously I am asking for a little bit too much as well, because it would be lovely if Man United lost tomorrow. That would just make it even a perfect weekend. But we'll see.
I wouldn't say you're a bit too greedy for that. I think we can all wish upon this anyway. And of course, this is what we will speak upon first of all, before we do speak about the game against Norwich, because it is the biggest talking point of all, is the fact that Liverpool are now 6 points 6 points closer, 6 points away, I should say, from Manchester City with a gaming hand, of course, and we still have to play Manchester City as well. And Doug, before I do ask you the question, let me read out a few of your guys' comments. Gary's in saying, "Get in, Diaz scored a great goal, title race on." Connor and Doug, it is indeed, Gary, it is indeed 100% on. Chris says, "Good evening, lads." Hello, Chris. Hopefully on a fantastic day, mate. I thought Diaz was outstanding. We are going to see a lot of goals from him. Absolutely. A lot of goals and assists, I would say, coming from Luis Diaz, of course. A tough game for City, and Liverpool are against teams playing for something in the league. I still expect us and City to drop even more points, so I wouldn't jump on the Bounty Castle just yet. But Chris, be happy, my friend. Be optimistic. It's in our own hands. We don't have to rely now on City dropping any more points. It is in Liverpool's hands from now until the end of the season what happens in terms of becoming Premier League champions as well. Job done for us in the end. Wasn't at our best, but that's credit to I was going to say Newcastle, then Jesus Christ, Norwich. Apologies, but Norwich is still going down, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. To be fair, but to be fair to they were absolutely brilliant today. So realistically, guys, I hope they do stay up, but I do think they will. But I'm holding no punches, says Chris as well. But Doug, you did say it was one of the best games that I think you've seen this season in terms of the Premier League itself. And now with Liverpool, as Sky Sports kept on rinsing out at the time, it is now firmly in Liverpool's hands what happens with the Premier League title. And we've seen the last time that City had a bit of pressure from Liverpool. Liverpool went on to go and win the Premier League title.
Yeah.
How do you think their mindsets will be out of this? Do you think they will come back better, or do you think that with the Liverpool game especially coming up quite soon, do you think this is a warning, the calm before the storm then, realistically? Because Spurs got it at Man City quite easily today.
Yeah, they did. I was absolutely amazed. Son and who was the winger? Kulusevski absolutely tore them to shreds. And like I was calling at half time for like Moura to maybe come on and just blitz them again. But Harry Kane, obviously, he hasn't had his best season, but today he just showed why he is so good. And the thing for me, which was really surprising, was the actual space between the centre backs that they had. Like Ruben Diaz for the first goal, he's trying to play offside. It's never offside because Son's been played through very, very well. I think it was Sessegnon that passed it, or was it Højbjerg? I can't remember who exactly it was, but For him to pass to Kulusevski, nice wee nutmeg to past Cancelo as well, who I didn't think had a very very good game. And I mean, 1-1. I mean, I've said this for ages. I don't know about you, but I've never rated Hugo Lloris as a goalkeeper.
No.
I think he's so overrated, unfortunately. But obviously, kudos to him for obviously making up. I think he had a wonderful save from Gundogan that was going into the corner. He managed to claw that away, and then obviously they go up the other end, get 2-1. It's a lovely ball again. Son and Kane, like that partnership has been so so good throughout the seasons that they've been with Tottenham. And then what were you thinking when Christian Romero decided to handball that?
Oh, I looked at it like at real time, and I thought, surely they can't give away a pen for that. Like I thought it was a bit harsh, but then looking at the replay, I was like, yeah, he's totally lunged for that and hoped for everything possible. And
Yeah,
it's still, for me, like as a defender side of it, it's still a bit. He's trying to throw his body. He doesn't have control, but then that's the letter of the law. He doesn't have control
yeah,
over his body, and it's 100% a penalty. And I'm like, you freaking idiot!
I
I was
know.
fuming. I was like, I put on Twitter a gif of Gordon Ramsay going like, "You blithering idiot," or something like that. And I remember like I was just looking on Twitter, and I was just praying. I was like, "You got like, please, Lloris, you'd made one mistake. If you can save this, you're a hero." And then the goal went in from Mahrez, and I was like, "Yeah, it's my hopes are quickly quickly taken out." And then, of course, Harry Kane scoring the third goal, which again I think it was deserved.
Hmm.
I think, like you said earlier, I think that City team, and it's something that we've spoken about for a very, very long time, isn't it, mate? The fact that if you go for this City team, they are vulnerable at times. Similar to Liverpool,
Yes.
Liverpool can be vulnerable at times. That was proven today with Norwich when they were going at us on the counter attack. If it wasn't for Virgil van Dijk, I wouldn't want to imagine what would have happened today at times. But it is that though, mate, isn't it? And it's a warning, I think, for the rest of the Premier League as well. Is the fact that this Man City team, it can be got at. It's not that.
Hmm.
Yeah, they are scary. Look at that. Look at this team. Look at this squad. It is unbelievably scary. But you look at it and go, and I do look at it and I go, there is plenty of teams that can hurt City and hurt them really, really
Yeah.
bad.
I've always had that thought, and now that Spurs done the double over Manchester City, goodness knows when that happened, but that would have been a long, long time ago. But the one thing for me is that the City do have bogey sides. Spurs are one of them. Palace are another one. They've got to go to Palace very, very soon as well. It's just as you say, it's in our hands because obviously, it could go back to 6 points because I think City are at Everton and, Everton are in absolute free fall at the moment.
Oh,
But
that's an easy
that,
3 points. That.
but
Sorry, sorry, Tom.
that game now has added significance because Everton have got something to play for now, and that's obviously to try and obviously stay in this league. We play West Ham on the 5th of March, which I think is before they play United on the Sunday. So yet again, you're looking at that. That could easily be back to 3 points. And then you're actually thinking, could United do a favour for us? Then we go to, then we've obviously got Inter. Then we're away to Brighton. That will not be an easy game because Brighton are a very, very good side. And then we've got Arsenal, which is our next game in hand over City. So by then you're looking at it and you're thinking it could be level points by the time we play Arsenal. And then we go into that United game, possibly going ahead of them. It's just worked out very, very well. But obviously, we just need to focus on ourselves, not worry about what City do. If they drop points, then fantastic. Today was an absolute bonus.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely agree with you on that. And guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So I think pretty much everyone will have their opinions on this, indeed. And any Man City fans that want to come in and say anything, I think everyone in the chat has got hands to say anyway. Connor did say on the live watch along show that we would be talking about a Spurs win tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Tom actually saying that in the watch along.
I said, let's hope. I didn't really expect it, but you know what? I'll take it 1000%, Tom. Absolutely. I feel sorry for Ox, great talent, but I feel he never really recovered from the injury he had. I hope he can rediscover his form, but not sure he will. We will speak about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in a brief moment. Let's bloody smile, says Gary. Thiago was my man of the match for Chris. Thiago showed why he's one of the best midfielders in the league and the world. Yeah, come on and made an impact that we will speak about in a brief moment. I would not sell Origi just yet. A couple of more years will do. He is a great bench player to have. We will speak about this in a brief moment. I said Lloris was overrated for years, but I was talking rubbish. Apparently, Chris, you still are talking rubbish, my friend. I'm kidding. Lloris is rubbish. He is really, really rubbish. I think since 2017, I think him, Pickford, and David De Gea have the most errors to goals in the Premier League. I think so.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Bernd Leno was another one potentially as well. So enough said. I mean,
Yeah.
Spurs could go for Pickford. There's been a lot of speculation that Spurs could potentially be going for Pickford in the summer, so we'll see.
I can't see that happening. It depends though, because I think if they get relegated, which fingers crossed they do, and we're all gonna have a party if Liverpool win the quadruple and Everton get relegated. To be fair, but I still think they might stay up. Sadly, both City fullbacks had a bad game. Oh, yeah, Walker was right back. Ha ha ha. Says Chris.
Yeah, it was shocking.
Well, to be fair, that I think Trent's comments in the week, midweek, got a little bit much to him, especially when he had to make a TikTok about it. City are not all that. Palace and Spurs have shown how to get behind that back line and smash them. Blueprint is there for teams with enough of the ball and a bit of pace. Yeah, exactly, 100%. And like Doug said, they still have to go to Palace as well. And as we seen the other week, it is a very, very tough place to go to under Patrick Vieira at the minute anyway. But we will, if you guys want to, talk about this in more depth, we'll speak about it maybe at the end of the show. But let's get on to then, of course, what we are here for. And I've got the banner from earlier on. Liverpool 3, Norwich 1. Anyway, and look, Doug, a first half of, I wouldn't say panic, but a bit of like a bit of a slow start to the game throughout, and then of course the second half happened, and we go a goal behind due to sloppiness, I would say. I think that especially I expect Liverpool to come out flying, especially being 0-0 in the first half, and then the goal happens, and for me personally on the live stream, I was a little bit like, oh, I remember these types of games, last season against Burnley and Brighton, and in previous seasons against teams like Swansea and so on. Was you a little bit like this at that stage, or was you like, okay, we'll wake up a little bit and we'll go again?
I was looking towards the Brighton game earlier in the season where it was like we were 2-0 up very, very early on, absolutely cruising, and then all of a sudden, they get one back, and then obviously it's 2-2. But I think it was a bit of a wake up call for us when they scored. Look at that; it's a bit fortunate. Sargent does very, very well. Don't get me wrong, but Rashika was given way too much space, and again, I think Ox should be closing them down. How he's just allowed him to get that much space is beyond me, as well. But yeah, I think we recovered after that, and yet again, for the second game in a week, the subs have changed the game.
Well, to be fair, I do have the banner saying subs made the difference again, which they did. We bring on Divock Origi and Thiago Alcantara for both Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. A quick word on Ox before we do speak about the substitutions, mate. For me, I think, again, it was another, like you said, I think it was another bad performance by Ox again. I know many people have praised him this season, and, I understand why completely for his availability, but I think the majority of the games so far this season, he just seems off it, and I don't know why. Like Burnley, not Burnley, sorry, against Brighton earlier on in the season, West Ham, Leicester away as well, just not looking up to what Liverpool need from him. I don't know whether or not if that's a player that Liverpool have moved on upon. I know he's still at the team, and I know he's a good squad player. But for me, I think when he's in that midfield, unless Liverpool are 100% dominating, I don't see him being useful in that midfield. And I think as soon as as we've seen with Thiago coming in, I know it's Thiago, but I think even if it was Harvey Elliott that had come in for Ox, I think he would have made so much of a difference. Would you agree with that, or do you think I'm being too critical of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain?
I think you've summed it up. I think you've summed it up perfectly. I'm not going to be saying that Ox should be sold or that,
No.
but the thing for me is, if you're going to play a midfield of Henderson, Keita, and Ox, Henderson and Keita is fine. It's when Ox is in that midfield, I don't think it works, because you've got Hendo holding, Keita, who is very, very attacking, not really the defensive mid anyway, and then Ox is very, very attacking as well. And I think we missed something in the midfield today, and especially when obviously Thiago comes on, changed the game completely. I don't think you can have Ox in that midfield. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for me. And I think the thing for me is we're not seeing the Ox of like the season when he got injured against Roma. He just hasn't been the same. He just hasn't been the same player. Anyway, but I think he will be moved on in the summer. I think he is sort of running on his last legs almost, and I do think that I still think he'll be important for the rest of the season. Don't get me wrong. I just think he's not really a starter now. He's probably a player to come off the bench and do something as well. But no, I think you've summed it up perfectly. I just think there's been some games this season where he's played well, but just today, as you say, West Ham, Leicester away, it just wasn't a great performance from him.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and look, it's so frustrating as well because I remember watching him in pre-season, and for me, I thought he had, like, I know it's pre-season, but you have that hope of that he will become good again. And for me, I don't think he is that now. I think obviously everyone is fit and available now. I think he's fifth, sixth choice, maybe even sixth or seventh choice. When we do have everyone there or thereabouts. But we'll talk more about the substitutions then. Of course, I've got Thiago and Costas, simply brilliant. For me personally, I thought these two were up there for being shouts for man of the match today. Thiago coming on, as Chris said, shows that what an absolute unbelievable midfielder that he is, and Costas as well. Coming in, hasn't really played as much football as I think as what we would like to, but again, what he's done this season, coming in, and there's no quality drop, is there, mate? From Andy Robertson to Costas Tsimikas.
No, and the thing is that's been very, very impressive for me. He's just slotted in like he's been playing for a while. Obviously last season you have to feel sorry for him. He didn't really get his chance, but he had COVID. I think he was injured as well. It just took a little bit of time for him to sort of get settled. But this season he has been excellent whenever he's came in. So yeah, we've obviously got a nice left back cover now for obviously Andy Robertson, and obviously Tsimikas playing 90 minutes is key as well. We managed to rest Fabinho, we've managed to rest Robertson today. You probably could say they'll probably come back in against Leeds on Wednesday, but no, Costas for me, apart from obviously the miss that he should have scored that. But apart from that, I thought he was really, really impressive. And Thiago just changed the game when he came on, just calmed the midfield. And, I think that's what Thiago was brought for, was to sort of have a calming influence in midfield. And he's doing that pretty much.
Yeah. remember on the watch along. I remember being absolutely fuming because it was such a good opportunity as well. It was typical Andy Robertson not taking his chance, but instead it was Costas this time. and not Andy Robbo, unfortunately. But we will speak about this man, of course. Luis Diaz getting his goal at Anfield, of course. Obviously, Liverpool, go 1-0 down, and then I think it was Sadio Mane with his overhead kick, which at the time I was like, is he offside? And then it was his arms. It was like, yeah, it doesn't count. So, but it was just the theatrical part about it. I thought was which I absolutely loved. And then of course Mohamed Salah as well back in the goals as well. After we should have really mentioned it, and I should have really done as a point. Alisson Becker against Manchester United. Anyone remember that assist? Well, this was Alisson Becker 2.0 in terms of that assist. It was absolutely fantastic. Brilliant touch from Mo and the finish as well. And then, of course, Luis Diaz, after a fantastic through ball through Jordan Henderson, gets his first Anfield goal. Doug, what did you make of the Colombians' performance, especially coming in, for the injured, Bobby Firmino and Diogo Jota playing on the left-hand side? For me, I thought he did absolutely brilliant. And if this is what, Luis Diaz is like now, I can't wait for what he's like, in a couple of weeks and the months coming forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he could be the key to winning things this season. He could really could be. I think Max Aaron's dealt with him well in the first half. I think he did get a bit of a quiet sort of first half, but the second half he just came into his own, and yeah, it's a lovely finish over Angus Gunn. That's the coolness and the composure of a very, very top player. And yes, obviously, first goal in front of the Kop as well. That could not have gone any perfectly as well. First goal in front of the Kop is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, the eye of the needle pass from Jordan Henderson to him as well was fantastic. And hopefully that'll probably now settle him down as well.
Oh, I think we've lost Doug. I think we have lost Doug. Oh. I think we have lost Doug, guys. I will get Doug back on in a short while. Doug, give me a thumbs up if you are back. I believe Doug has disappeared for now anyway. But let's read a few of your comments anyway. We will get back onto Luis Diaz anyway in a brief moment. But Chris says all teams are beatable if you get them. Yep, that is obviously true, Chris. Manchester United at the Anfield is a bogey side for Manchester City as well in recent times. Yep, I would agree. Tom is in as well, saying, "Oi, boys." Sorry, Tom, we were speaking ill about Jordan Pickford, as Gary likes to put with it. Doug is back. Anyway, we did lose you for a brief moment. so we got a little bit through Luis Diaz, but no, I agree to everything you said up to that point. Anyway, Chris saying Liverpool was full time 4 hours ago, Connor. Yes, I know, but I still had the headline, so I used the headline. It's called reusing. Jesus Christ, Chris. I bet you don't recycle, Chris. Cox. Oh, bugger off. Yeah, look, I don't want to speak ill will of players, but I would agree. Ox was good in preseason, just like Keita was in every preseason since being at Liverpool. But yeah, rest of history, let's leave it there. You have to mention him, don't you, Chris? You always have to mention my guy. Great movement from Diaz, great finish, brilliant ball from our stale captain Henderson. If you see what I did there. Yeah, I did see what you did there. Very, very good. Very, very good. Big up, guys. Hope you are well. John, thank you very much for tuning in, mate. I do very much appreciate it. Chris says, I like Ox, but he'd be better off at a London club, Arsenal. Wink, wink. Not first time we lost Doug. Look at the eyes emoji. God's sake, Chris. I'm fuming. Another last-minute goal conceding. Unbelievable. Yeah, Diego.
Yeah.
I
mean,
at least
the one thing I can say is Zaha missed an absolute sitter.
It was pretty bad.
It was.
Well, at least you stopped Lukaku. What did we read before we came on, Doug? I think Lukaku now has recorded the least amount of touches in a game. Because Jesus Christ, you can tell how exciting the game that was. No offense, Diego. Congrats on your win anyway. Thank you, Diego. And look, Diego, if you can get points off Manchester City, I love you forever. Simple as. But Doug, who was? Let me get the thing up. Who was your man of the match then for the game? Because I think you can literally choose between about 4 or 5 players for the game. But who was your man of the match?
Thiago. Simple. Changed the game when he came on. Controlled the midfield. And what an absolute baller he is. Thiago.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, guys, I'm gonna go with Kostas Tsimikas just because I think he was absolutely fantastic. Look, I think Thiago is up there. Mo as well is certainly up there for his goal contribution, and just everything today. I think Mo, especially in the first half, was looking a bit too much to cut inside and try and do it. But if you guys were watching the watch along, he was trying to recreate another Watford goal. And a Manchester City goal for he was trying his best, but of course luckily he did get his goal. Anyway, I'll read that comment out. But guys, let us know your thoughts. Let us know who you think was man of the match in the comment section down below. Virgil could also be up there. Diaz as well. Diaz is also up there. But for me, it would be Costas. To move away a little bit. But I would agree. Thiago, definitely a worthy shout. Thiago Alcantara, of course, with the sing. Shocked Connor didn't go for Keita for his man of the match. For God's sake, Chris. Try it. One day I'm just gonna have a Naby. I'm gonna have a Naby Keita decorated stream, and I'm just gonna tag you in everything, Chris. Literally sit down with an interview with Naby Keita. If I could get that, it would be sound. But no. I hate you, Chris, so much. Anyway, but Doug, to go back onto the title race, a little bit, and to think probably when we lost to Leicester back in December, it was 12 points then that Liverpool were behind Manchester City, and we've spoken about and I think me, you, Jack, and plenty of others as well. I've had that little bit of hope of going, it's not dead yet. Look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when Liverpool back in 18-19 were, I know we'd played a game more than Man City at the time, and we were 9 points ahead of them, and we lost that lead. And I was always thinking back to that. It's never over because the Premier League it's so demanding these days, and it's so much of a high level. Anything can happen, and the fact that this Liverpool side now, we're fighting on all fronts. We're up on our Champions League tie. So are Man City, but we'll take that away. We're in a League Cup final. The FA Cup looks decent as well, and the Premier League. We're now 6 points off City. With the game in hand, potentially 3 points, and we play them as well. Do you think that obviously we talk about these lads being mentality, monsters and giants? Do you think especially what Dirk Kuyt said about winning the League Cup, it pushes you on for the rest of the season if you go on and win it? Do you think that might happen if we, even if we don't win the cup? Do you think that it will push the lads on even more? Do you think it give them that extra hunger to go, right, okay, we can just go at City and get them and catch them?
Yeah, 100%. You look at what the League Cup's done to Manchester City, and it's spurred them on to get Premier League after Premier League after, But the thing that really surprises me is that you said it was 12 points. I think it was 14 points that they were ahead of us. I think it was 14 that they were ahead of us. So, we've managed to claw that lead back, which is amazing because, loads of people had said, "Oh yeah, it's over, it's over." The most realistic person would have probably said it was over by then. But no, it's just there's still so many games left at the end of the season. There's still so many games. I believe they have to go to Wolves at some point. That is not an easy place to go to, Molineux, and especially with a Wolves side that's not conceded many goals this season as well. So I'm still pretty confident. March is a big month for us. I mean, West Ham, Inter, Brighton, Manchester United. I've got a feeling Spurs is in there somewhere. So March is a very, very big month for us. But then again, it is for City as well, because they've got to go to Goodison. They're going to Goodison next weekend. They've got Manchester United. I think they've got Palace coming up as well. I think they've got Brighton in there as well. So there's no easy games in this league. And, I think to cap it off, we've actually played most of the teams at the bottom, I would say. I think the only team that we haven't played so far, I think, at Anfield yet is Watford. Now, the thing for me is, I think if you're looking at that game, Watford could already be potentially down. Like, the fact that they won today and they're bottom of the league just says how much Burnley's win against Brighton was very, very impressive. So it's going to be. Look, people say it's a rat race, and people say it's going to be going down to the wire. This could easily go down to the wire. We've still got to go to the Etihad to play City. The momentum will be with us, and I think obviously you've seen past seasons that I think City were 8 points behind. They managed to claw it back to Manchester United. I think Manchester United were something like 12 points behind. They managed to claw it back. So if I'm thinking 14 points could be the biggest margin that a team is actually potentially pulled back to go on and win the league. It ain't over until it's over. And I'll tell you something, we win against Leeds. And I think you'd be very, very confident in saying this is going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you on that. Gary says, Gomez wasn't great today. No, I thought he had a difficult game, but to be fair, coming back in, without playing any football, it's always going to be difficult at right back. As well, someone we haven't really mentioned as well, Trent getting a rest as well, with Trent not being whatsoever. We haven't even really mentioned that. To be fair, I thought it was 12 points, to be honest, says Chris. This title race now is like F1's title race with Hamilton and Verstappen. When Verstappen was very ahead before that British Grand Prix, then Hamilton cut the gap down. Well, unfortunately, or maybe we might have a Michael Massey to intervene. Maybe. Cough.
I like that.
Dirk Kuyt is a legend. His hat-trick against United was grand. Well,
I was at that game.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember you telling me that. Gary, if you go onto the Liverpool website and read his article about the Carabao Cup game, he does speak hugely about what this could mean for Liverpool winning the Carabao Cup and moving on to other trophies. That's why I mentioned, him speaking about that extra, gap, mentality going forward, and so on. Dirk Kuyt is one of my favorite ever players. Absolutely workhorse forward. Yeah, he's fantastic, wasn't he? A cult hero.
The man for the big occasion.
But yeah, no, that's right. Well, for me, I always remember his goal. Like, I remember him scoring an overhead kick against Wigan when we were losing 2-0 for some reason.
I was at that game as well.
It's like every single game Doug was at. But no, that game I specifically remember because he was unbelievable that game. I think he got 2 goals and an assist in that game, which he was absolutely brilliant.
Amir Zaki, I think, got the goals for Wigan that day, and I believe Antonio Valencia was sent off for Wigan. Geez, my memory is pretty impressive when it comes to remembering that. And I was definitely at Dirk Kuyt's easiest hat trick. I mean, it's probably the easiest hat trick. One was on the goal line. One was like a bad header away from Nani, and he's standing on the goal line almost. And then the other one is a free kick that Van der Sar has just literally palmed it straight to him, and he couldn't miss. And I remember that game because that was a game where the cop and all around the ground were singing happy birthday, Sir Kenny, happy birthday," or King Kenny, I should say.
Oh, for God's sake. But yeah, this is why, guys, we don't do quizzes on the stream when Doug's around, because Doug will get everything correct. Especially that's what I found out when we did it before Christmas, wasn't it? We did the quiz on the Friday show.
Yeah.
And I lost it down, but I got the last question all correct, so I'm still glory hunting that, to be fair, in my own defense anyway. But guys,
yeah, we'll be having another one. You what?
to be fair, I did well. To be fair, I would say I did well. Dan was the favourite, but I'm just gonna say Makendo copped out. That's all I'm gonna say. He didn't show, so
Yeah.
but punish him.
Yeah, obviously, obviously the chat. Obviously, I don't know if they know, but obviously we send our best wishes to Jack. I don't know if you've seen it on the community tab, but it looks like he's going to be losing his beloved kitty cat Tilly. 20 years of age though is some age for a cat.
It's huge. Like, guys, if anyone is a cat person, let us know in years how many years that is. I think I seen someone earlier saying it was like 105 human years, but
I think so. Yeah,
I'm not really sure on that. To be fair, Massey being VAR, yeah, Michael Massey would be on VAR. And to be fair, that's probably his new job in the FIA.
He's been replaced, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. We should do it. We should do an F1 podcast for some reason. Should do. Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, message us. We'll try and sort a thing out on that, and we'll get it. Because I know Chris does F1. Because I watched Chris. I haven't told you this, but I did watch your F1 prediction show the other week, and I thought it was pretty good. So I will be watching. But 20 years, bloody hell, that's a lot. Yes, it is. But of course, guys, heart spam in the chat, please, for of course Tilly, because like we did say, if you haven't yet checked it out, go into Jack Mac's community tab and you'll know why we're speaking about this anyway. So please go over and and as well spread love hearts in the chat as well, because it would be very much appreciated, as Chris is doing so right now anyway. But guys, we are going to leave it there for tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in to tonight's show. Of course, our post-match reaction to Liverpool's 3-1 victory over Norwich City. We've also spoken about the title race being on due to Manchester City losing by 3-2 against Tottenham, which of course is fantastic. With all things considered, let me read the last few comments out. Eddie says title race is back on. Thank you, Eddie, for tuning in. I think you're new around here, so very much appreciated, mate. And thoughts go out to Jack as well, says Gary. Yeah, 1000%. Anyway, and also as well, I want to quickly say a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in to the live watch along as well. It was very much appreciated. I checked it before we started. I think it has 1.3k views at the moment and has, I think, over 20 likes at the minute. So it's very much appreciated. I didn't really expect that. So I do very much appreciate it. Thank you so much for that anyway. But Doug, thank you very much for coming on, my friend.
Pleasure.
Do you have anything to say before we do head off?
Title race is back on, baby.
1000%, absolutely. Chris says Connor on an F1 podcast would be saying Hamilton was robbed 20 years. To be fair, I don't think. Look, my thoughts on it is plain and simple. Hamilton deserved to win the title. Verstappen deserved to win the title. The best title race of F1's history was ruined in one lap. That's all I'm going to say. Not only for Lewis Hamilton, but mainly Max Verstappen, because Max Verstappen, he shouldn't have that in his first, World Drivers' Championship win to have the controversy about it. Anyway, but both deserving world champions. And take care, lads, says Chris. Jack is in with a Sue. Apologies for doing that. I feel disgusting. Completely agreed, says Chris. But it was exciting. But damn, Michael Massey, the absolute get anyway. But less F1, more football anyway. Guys, thank you so very much for tuning in to tonight's show. We will be back tomorrow with a little bit of a different episode for you guys. We'll be speaking about contracts, or that might come out on Monday anyway. But we've got that coming up. We've got Of course, the preview for Leeds coming up as well, and other good stuff as well. And maybe we might have a watch along as well for the Leeds game midweek as well. But thank you, Doug, for coming on. Thank you to all of you for tuning in as well. Please stay safe. Please stay well as well, because the world is still a dangerous place at the minute. If you haven't already, please head over to Doug's channel as well and hit that subscribe button over there. Don't forget to leave a like here and subscribe as well. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cock Council,